Hello. Well, different chord and different guitar and different jacket. Because why not, really? We are working through our kind of own sort of version of Back in Black, the song by AC/DC. In the last video, we looked at the E major chord, and in this video, we are looking at the next one in the sequence of that particular song, which is the D major chord. Okay, it sounds like this. And it's played on the top 4 strings of the guitar if it's tuned to the standard tuning, which we looked at in the second video that we did. So, okay, the D major chord is made up of 3 notes, as most chords are, really, or most of the ones that we're looking at anyway. Let me pop the guitar down there for a second and get this, which is a piano keyboard. Okay, we have, on the piano we have C, D, E, F, G, A, B and C again, and that gives us our octave. Now within these notes we also have ones in between. Now let's call this C sharp, this one is D sharp, E sharp doesn't exist, it's F, so then we have F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B sharp doesn't exist, we then have C. So the chord of D is made up of D, the note of D itself, F sharp, which is this note here, and also the note of A, which is here. So if I were to play the chord of D major on the piano, I would have the D, the F sharp, and the A pressed, and I would play the chord like that. So we need to recreate that on the guitar. So this is how we're going to do it. So if we look at the chord of D major on the guitar, the first note that we start with is this one, which is the D itself, which is the 3rd note down from the top, or 3rd string down from the top. That is D anyway, and it is the root note, as in the bass part of this chord, so we don't need to fret that note at all, that string, we can just play it. So there's the D that we're looking for. Then if we take our index finger, place that on the 2nd fret of the G string, we therefore have G would be open, G sharp would be the next note down, and after G sharp you then go back to A, which is there, which is one of the other notes that we need to find to make the chord of D major. So our index finger on the G string on the 2nd fret. So there's our 2 notes so far. We're then going to take our ring finger and place that on the next string down, which is the B string, and that goes on the 3rd fret, so our ring finger goes on the 3rd fret of the B string. So again, let's do that demonstration. We start with the B by itself. If we fret the B, we get C, because remember there's, as we saw on the piano keyboard, there is no B sharp, so we then get C. If we were to fret on the 2nd fret of the B string, we get C sharp, and then after that we get, after C is D, which is one of the notes that we're after. So there's the 3 notes that we've got so far, the D, the A and the D again. And then to finish off this chord, we then take our middle finger, put that on the 2nd fret of the E string, the highest E string. So if we play it open, we would get the E. Then we get F, because there's no E sharp is F. So we then have E, F, and then F sharp would be the 2nd fret down. And that's one of the notes that we need, or the last note that we need. So if we put those all together, we then get our chord of D major, made up of the notes D, F sharp, and A, as we saw on the piano, except that we have actually 2 Ds in this, in the guitar version. And it sounds like that. It's very important when you play the D chord not to play, or the D major chord, not to play the first 2 notes, the first 2 strings on your guitar, the top 2 bassier ones, because they're not in the chords. So if I play them, it kind of sounds okay, but it's not actually the chord of D major. It would be a different chord. So just play the last 4 strings, one of which is unfretted, and then the 3 that we fretted. So now if we go from our E major to our D major, that's the first part of our tune. And in the next video, we shall be looking at the 3rd and final chord in this particular sequence, which is the A major chord. So do check that out.